Yo everyone, I hope you're all well. Today in this video, as it says in the title, we're going to be talking about how anyone can be rich. And I know this might come across as like a misconception because you might read the title and think not everyone can be rich, but honestly they can. It's just when you're in school or when you're in education, you don't get taught about how to invest, how to buy a stock, how to source a real estate deal, how to buy an index fund, that sort of stuff. You don't get taught any of that in school. So most people's mindsets is kind of fixed that they can't be rich. But honestly, in this video, we're going to break down different methods and different ways that you can make your money work for you and make your money grow. Yeah, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is investing in your education, investing in yourself. So obviously I've done a video, my previous video before this in this playlist was about books, so I'm not going to go over that again. The videos will be in the description below if you want to go and watch that. But picking up books such as Rich Dad's Guide to Investing, Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, all them sort of books will be the main investment you've got is yourself. So if you put in money in to get books to educate yourself, that's going to probably be the highest return investment you'll ever make, to be fair. So yeah, I'd go and read and research on what books you want to be looking at. You can go and rewatch that video, as I said, and then we'll get on to actually where you're going to put your proper money now. Yeah, so step one, the first thing I'm going to talk about is a high interest saving account. So most banks, if you look it up, most banks will offer you a 2% return in a high interest saving account. So you've got banks like NatWest, Barclays, American Express. I use NatWest. So say if I put £1,000 in with my NatWest high interest saving account, I'll get an annual 2% return. I can just sit back and make that 2% without doing any work. So what I would say is though, if you have £1,000 you need to save, don't put the money that you need to save into the stock market, because the stock market can be volatile. It's an investment, you've got risk. So if you really need to save that money, you want a guaranteed 2% rather than the higher risk stock market where you could potentially lose the money. Yeah, so the second step we're going to talk about is investing in index funds. So basically what an index fund is you're giving yourself diversification across the whole market. So I'll explain this now. So if I wanted to invest in American companies, then I would probably look at investing in the S&P 500. So if I was to do this and invest in the S&P 500, I'd be investing in a tiny portion of the top 500 companies in the US. Yeah, so if you wanted to do this for tech companies, you could get an index fund for tech companies and invest a tiny portion in the index fund. So usually the S&P 500, which is obviously, as I said, the top 500 companies, usually for the past 30 years or whatever, it's looked at about 7 to 8% increase on your investment. So again, if you invested £1,000 in, you'd be getting a 7 to 8% return annually. Yeah, so in regard to buying those index funds, what I would do is I'm going to link down below Nate O'Brien's video talking about Vanguard. So Vanguard's basically a website or a brokerage where you can go and buy ETFs or mutual funds. So I'm going to link that video down below. That's where I learned most of my stuff on YouTube, just researching that sort of topic. So yeah, I'm going to link that down below and then get on to step 3. Yeah, so I'm moving on to step 3 now. We're getting towards the more riskier end of the scale now. So we've covered online savings accounts and index funds, which are toward the lower risk of the scale. So now moving on to step 3, which is stocks. We're going to be talking about how some people turn trading with stocks into gambling a bit. So a lot of people just find a stock, pick a stock, throw some money into it and hope they wake up in the morning and it's done 2x, 5x, 10x and they've waited and made a load of money. But that is essentially gambling. You're just throwing money in and hoping you get a bigger return. So to do this properly, it does take a lot more knowledge, it does take a lot more time, a lot more research, but in the long term you're benefiting yourself. So when you're looking at a company, you want to be looking at the financial statements, you want to be doing fundamental analysis, you want to be looking at conference calls, you want to be looking at 10Ks. I know to the normal person a lot of these phrases will sound a bit alien, but I will do videos in the future explaining some of this stuff, and obviously you can do your research yourself just to give yourself a bit more knowledge about the topic. So yeah, stocks. As I said, you can if you don't want to do this, or you don't have time to do this, you can do the S&P 500, which is an index fund where you just cover the whole basis. Or there is an app as well, which I will link down below, where you can copy other traders' trades basically. So if they're spending 5 hours just researching trades, you can just log onto the app, copy their trades, and invest in the same companies that they are. So I'll link the app down below as well. And yeah, moving on to step 4 now. Yeah, another thing that's what I mentioned as well before I move on to step 4 is don't be throwing your money into stocks or into the next thing I'm going to talk about if you need the money. So say if you're saving up for a car, if you're saving up for a house, if you're saving up for a holiday, don't go and throw your money into this, because end of the day the markets are volatile and they can go up, they can go down, you can lose a lot of your money. So if you need the money, do not put it into stocks or into what I'm going to talk about now. Yeah, so I'm moving on to step 4 now, which I'm going to be talking about cryptocurrency. As I just said before, I'm going to reiterate that now. If you need the money for any reason, don't put it into cryptocurrency, because it can easily be lost. The markets can even be more volatile than the stock market. So that's just a disclaimer now. Do not put your money in the stock market or in cryptocurrency markets if you need the money. Yeah, so I'm not going to go into detail now about what cryptocurrency is, but I will save that for another video. I will do another video in this playlist about cryptocurrency. Yeah, so because I'm not going to get into it, just imagine cryptocurrency is the same as the stock market. You're buying into something, the price can go up, the price can go down. Again, it's the same with the research. You want to be researching the company you're buying. You want to be research what you're putting your money into. Don't just blindly put your money into something without actually knowing what you're doing. So obviously recently, Bitcoin, a lot of you probably will know what Bitcoin is. That's been in the news quite a lot, but don't just think because it's been in the news to then go and buy it, because again, like we seen last week, Bitcoin's price dropped 10k. So don't just go and blindly buy into it because you see it on the news or someone tells you to. Yeah, so we'll move on to step 5 now, and I'll cover the rest of cryptocurrency in another video. Yeah, so moving on to step 5 now, and again, before I start this, I just want to point out I did not own any real estate, but I am learning how to make money in real estate. Yeah, so I'm just going to vaguely go over the different ways that you can make money. So the first way is to buy the property and then to rent it out to a tenant. So then the tenant is paying monthly rent, which will again pay your mortgage off. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that the property cash flows. So you want the person to pay you more rent than you are paying on the mortgage. So it's got to cover living expenses, it's got to cover the mortgage payments, any repairs, all that sort of stuff. And then you want a little bit of extra cash flow in your pocket at the end of the month. Yeah, another way is to buy a property, renovate it and resell it. So then you will be gaining, so say if you buy a property house for 100 grand, you do it up, sell it for 150, you made the £50,000 profit pre-tax obviously. And then the third way to make money, and by the way, when I say third way, there's not just 3 ways to make money, there is a lot of ways, but I'm just not covering every single one in this video. But the third way is to lease the property off an existing owner of the property, promise them to pay them a certain amount of rent every month, and then you rent it out again to another tenant. The goal in this one is again to cash flow, so you want to be earning more money from the tenant than you are paying to the person you agreed the lease with. So yeah, that is how to make money in real estate. I know, as I said at the start of the video, I not own any real estate, I'm just learning, and the people I'm learning from, again, I will drop them in the description below. Yeah, so again, thank you for watching the video, thank you for listening to me waffle for 10 minutes. I will be uploading this video 2 days after recording, so at the weekend, yeah, and then the week after, again, I'll be doing a sports-based, fitness-based video and another financial fitness-based video for the playlist. So yeah, thank you for watching, smash the like button and drop any comments down below. Thank you for watching.